You think insecurity is weakness, but it is not. It is memory, stored in the body, disguised as self-doubt. This is not about confidence. It never was. It is about survival, learned too early, and practiced too long. You were not born insecure. No child is. You were born open, soft, unarmored. Then something happened. Not always dramatic. Sometimes quiet. Sometimes repeated. Sometimes invisible. A look that lingered. A tone that shifted. A comparison made casually. Love given conditionally. Safety made uncertain. And your nervous system learned. Before language. Before logic. Before choice. A rule. Be less. Be quieter. Be better. Be different. Be acceptable. This is the paradox. Insecurity feels personal, but it is relational. It did not start inside you. It started between you and someone you needed. Psychology calls this conditional attachment, developmental mirroring failure, internalized critical introjects. But your body calls it danger, because insecurity is not fear of being bad. It is fear of being rejected for being real. You learned early that authenticity had consequences, that expression risked abandonment, that visibility invited correction. So you adapted. Adaptation is not weakness. It is intelligence, a child's brilliance. In an unsafe emotional ecosystem, you became what love required. You scanned rooms for micro-expressions. You learned timing, tone, mood shifts. Hypervigilance became your superpower, but also your prison. You mistook awareness for control, and control for safety. This is where insecurity lives, not in low self-esteem, but in a nervous system that never felt fully held. Without performance, Carl Jung once said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Your insecurity is unconscious loyalty to an old rule. Love must be earned. Belonging must be negotiated. Existence must be justified. So you overthink every word spoken, every silence received, every delay interpreted as proof. Proof that you are too much, or not enough, or replaceable, or forgettable, or temporary. Philosophy names this ontological insecurity, a doubt not of skills, but of being, of right to exist. And the cost is not just anxiety. It is exhaustion, chronic self-monitoring, emotional burnout. You lose spontaneity. Joy becomes filtered. Expression becomes edited. Desire becomes dangerous. Rest becomes guilt. Because rest threatens identity. If you stop performing, who are you? If you stop proving, will you still be loved? This is the hidden sacrifice. You traded softness for safety, curiosity for compliance, truth for tolerance. And now as an adult, insecurity disguises itself as perfectionism, as people-pleasing, as avoidance. You hesitate to start because failure feels fatal. You hesitate to speak because disagreement feels dangerous. You hesitate to rest because stillness feels unsafe. Your adult relationships echo childhood. You overgive, overexplain, overaccommodate, underreceive. You call it love, but it is survival. You call it loyalty, but it is fear. You call it humility, but it is self-erasure. Healing does not start with confidence. It starts with permission. Permission to feel unsafe, without judging yourself for it. Inner child reparenting begins here, not with affirmations, but with attunement. You sit with the part that learned to hide. You say, I see why you did this. I understand the cost. You protected us when no one else did. This rewires shame, because shame dissolves when behavior is understood as protection, not pathology. Shadow work deepens this. You face the traits you were punished for: neediness, anger, sensitivity. You reclaim them gently, not to act them out, but to integrate them. Wholeness is inclusion, not elimination. Nervous system regulation is essential. You cannot think your way out of insecurity. You must teach the body that the present is safer. Slow breathing, long exhales, grounding through sensation, predictable routines, gentle repetition. Safety is not an idea. It is a felt experience, repeated consistently until vigilance softens and trust emerges. Then comes the hardest shift, choosing softness over survival, letting pauses exist without filling them, letting imperfections remain visible. This feels terrifying at first because the old rule screams, visibility equals danger. But this is outdated data. You are not that child anymore. You have resources now, boundaries, choice, voice. Insecurity fades not by force, but by evidence. Evidence that authenticity does not destroy connection. It deepens it. You practice small risks, honest preferences, unedited reactions, rest without apology, no performance required. Each moment becomes proof that you can be seen and remain safe, that love can be stable without self-abandonment. This is not becoming fearless. It is becoming regulated. Fear loses authority when safety becomes internal, not external. The goal is not to be fixed. You were never broken. The goal is to become whole, to hold all parts, without hierarchy. Your insecurity was a messenger, not an enemy. It carried information about unmet needs, ignored wounds. Now you listen differently, not with urgency, but with compassion, not with correction, but curiosity. And as you integrate, you will notice your voice steadies, your body relaxes, your presence expands. You stop chasing certainty and start trusting process. You stop proving worth and start inhabiting it quietly. If this resonated, share it with someone still living in survival, someone who thinks they are the problem. And if you want more depth like this, subscribe, not for motivation, but for remembrance, because you do not need fixing. You need remembering who you were before fear taught you to disappear.